Welcome to the Silver Mature WomanPreneur Podcast, a podcast for and by women over 50, providing safe building strategies for the female entrepreneur looking to achieve higher levels of productivity, capacity, and growth, where we strive to focus on God's agenda while building our business to serve our communities with excellence. Welcome to the podcast. And today's topic is actually coming from a chapter of from my book, The 7 Disciplines of Productivity, a biblical guide to getting more done while adding more hours to your day. And in the book, I go over 7 key disciplines or 7 key principles that must be addressed when you're trying to improve on your productivity skills. So the 7 areas that we cover in the book are priorities, goals, time management, clutter management, information management, systems and processes, and procrastination. Now, those are the 7 areas that we cover, and I don't care what productivity guru or whoever you talk to regarding time management, those 7 areas should always be covered. But in the chapter on time management, we start off the conversation by getting our heads around the idea of needing more time, needing more hours. Now, I know there will never be more than 24 hours in a day, okay? Even though the subtitle of the book is a guide to getting more done while adding more hours to your day. I get that. And the truth is, no matter what, you cannot manage time, but you can direct yourself to manage the activities in your time or the activities of your day. Time management is about managing the agreement you have with yourself about the activities that you should be doing throughout the day. It's just an agreement. And so some people view time management as a list of rules that involve scheduling, scheduling of appointments, goal setting, to-do lists, all those type of things. And the deal is that's only a small portion of it, okay? That's a small portion of it. It's really about getting the results that you need, the results that you desire. It's not about being busy. And I mean, I've heard people use this being busy thing like a badge of honor. You know, you ask them a question, well, how's it going? How's it going in your business? Oh, I'm just busy. I'm busy doing stuff. Well, what does that mean? What is that? I mean, I'm not saying that business doesn't keep you busy, okay? I get that, especially early on in your business when you're trying to get things done, you're trying to get things in place, and you have many responsibilities. You're wearing a whole lot of hats, but don't use being busy as a badge of honor and use that as being, trying to impress someone, because really as an entrepreneur, you should not be about being busy. You should be doing the activities that's going to move your business forward. Okay, so you should be really focused on those things. So if you look at time management as honoring an agreement that you make with yourself and about the activities that you do in the day and getting the desired results. It's not about being busy, but if you look at that agreement that you make with yourself, okay, say you agree that the things that you do today, the activities that you do today, and you just start there. Today, you make an agreement with yourself. You'll find yourself being much more productive, much more prosperous, and you'll have much more peace because you will be about doing the things that need to be done. Now, that really is the mindset part of it, okay? That's the mindset part of it. There are some fundamentals of time management that really have to be understood, especially if you're looking at scaling your business, if you're looking at expanding your business and really having a real business, because that's what it's all about. It's about freeing up your time. And so really you should make it your goal and a priority to really develop in those areas of time management. Now, when it comes to time management, it does take a lot more skills than just the core basics that I was talking about, to-do lists and things like that. It will require a mindset change, and I talked a little bit about that. About your mindset, about making the agreement with yourself about the things that you're going to do. It's about mindset, changing that and changing your perspective in terms of how you look at that. But it's also going to take some skills like quick decision making. Okay, inherent abilities such as emotional intelligence and critical thinking. These are also essential things to your personal growth because we have so many things demanding of our time and energy, right? So much so that a lot of us really just wish we had more time just to accomplish a few things that we've had planned. But here the whole time management, whole topic of what we're going to be talking about for just a few moments is going to be about fragments, okay? Because I've discovered that the best way to add more time in your day is to examine the wasted fragments, okay? Those small, seemingly insignificant things that add up to be hours of our time, right? Things that you never even considered before. A few minutes here, a few minutes there. You really want to consider fragments, in your day. I mean, think about it. If you think about all the time that you waste doing little bitty things, a few seconds here, a few moments there to check text messages or what have you, you'll find that at the end of the day, you will have gotten or wasted really more time than you, and at the end of the day, you'll have more time if you consider the fragments and recovering those fragments, right? So just think about it. Those insignificant things that add up to be hours and hours at the end of the day or at the end of the week. Okay, if you're in the process of writing, I just wanted to, just quickly give this example. If I'm in the process of writing or creating content, okay, for a book or for a program or whatever it is I'm doing, I don't want to stop and check my email or social media or anything like that, because those few seconds that I think that's not going to cost me anything, it's costing me tremendously, right? You may think of it as being 10 or 15 seconds to respond to a text or something, but those insignificant, you may be insignificant fragments add up. Think of it like this. It's kind of like a jar of pennies, right? Daily, you keep throwing a few pennies and, here and there, and then at the end of the year, you've accumulated hundreds of dollars, right? I mean, how many times have you looked at those, big jars of pennies? That's just like, you throw in 5 pennies here, 5 pennies there, or, a few quarters here or whatever. You look up and you have hundreds and hundreds of dollars, right? So think about it, applying that same concept to your time. And this all ties in together because like money, time is valuable. And like money, it is a commodity. Your time is your commodity. And like money, your time requires stewardship. Time is your currency. But even more so, time, look at it as productivity equaling money. Because the more productive you are, the more money you can make. And if you apply that concept to your business, into your life, you'll find yourself at the end of the year or even maybe a few months that you will have, really made some huge and tremendous strides in your business and in your life. That additional time you've earned on income-producing activities will result in huge financial rewards. More time with your family, more time reducing stress. And that, my friends, is priceless. So let me get to the scripture that I really want to use to illustrate this whole fragment concept here. Okay, let's just take a look at the scripture, John 6:7-13. Now, although this is not specifically referring to time, okay, but it does illustrate my point about capturing fragments. Okay, so just a little bit, you're probably going to want to at least read the whole scripture, the whole chapter, John 6. But I'm just going to start at 7 and go through 7-13, just to illustrate my point, and then we'll wrap it up here shortly. So verse 7 says, Philip answered him, talking about Jesus, it would take more than half a year's wages to buy enough bread for each one to have a bite. So what was happening was the disciples were really trying to figure out how they were going to feed all of these people who had assembled, right? And let me move on. Another of the disciples, Andrew, Simon Peter's brother, spoke up and said, well, here's a boy with five small barley loaves and 2 small fish. But how far will they go among so many people? Jesus said, have the people sit down. There was plenty of grass in that place, and they sat down. About 5,000 men were there. That was just counting the men. Jesus then took the loaves, gave thanks, distributed to those who were seated as much as they wanted. He did the same with the fish, right? Verse 12, when they had all had enough to eat, he said to the disciples, gather the pieces that are left over. Let nothing be wasted. So they gathered them and filled the 12 baskets with the pieces of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. Now, here's what I want to say about that. I mean, I think, after reading the scripture, you'll pretty much, come to that same conclusion. But many times we overlook the fragments of time in our day that could be used more efficiently. If you look at that scripture, there were at the end of it, there was pieces. He said, gather them and fill 12 baskets with the pieces. Did you get that? Fragments of the 5 barley loaves left over by those who had eaten. Now, the thing is this, we all allow precious fragments to be taken away from us with meaningless activities and distractions that don't produce any results. We spend a huge amount of time on social media, posting and liking comments and all this other type of stuff. While they are great tools to use in your business, it can be a huge time vacuum. We multitask and work on too many things at once, not realizing that we're actually deceiving ourselves into thinking we've gotten a lot done, but in reality, we've just been busy, right? We're not counting the fragments. We've been busy doing little bitty things that if we would apply those fragments of things to our businesses, we can really move our business. Let me tell you, one day I found myself texting, checking email, and social media all at the same time, not even focused on one thing in particular. And guess what? At the end of the day, I had nothing to show for it. Nothing. Those non-income producing activities had depleted my productivity bank, leaving me with little funds to work with. I was exhausted, but I didn't really have anything to show for as far as my business was concerned. I hadn't done anything. It was just absolutely insignificant stuff. And if I count those small fragments, those small deposits of time from my productivity bank, I could have done much more. I could have gotten more done. And if you think about it, I would have gotten more done, added more hours to my day, right? So the thing is this. Good stewardship starts with being able to find those leaks and fragments. We must become better stewards by gathering the fragments and waste nothing. If you look at John 6:12, I mean waste nothing. And the bottom line is personal time management involves everything that you do. It doesn't matter how big or how small, everything counts. Each new nugget of knowledge you acquire, advice you consider, a skill you develop, should be taken into consideration when making the agreement with yourself. Remember I said time management is about making the agreement with yourself, right? And so personal time management should not be a daunting task. Just make that agreement with yourself. Now, I'm going to share just a few tips, and then we'll be done. So here's a few practical tips that I believe that you can apply for capturing some of those fragments at the end of your day to keep you from depleting your productivity bank. Number one, review your goals often. You should have daily goals, weekly goals, annual goals for your business. And whether it's short-term, long-term, it doesn't matter. Do it keeping your vision board or what have you, your list of goals always accessible to you. That will keep you, if you stay focused on that, that will keep you from doing those meaningless things and capturing those fragments at the end of the day. That will, if you keep your vision before you, right? So that's number one. Number two, always determine which activity is necessary, right, in achieving your goals. Which activities are helping you to maintain a more balanced lifestyle, that's helping you to move the needle in your business, as I always say, right? Number three, learn to say no. There's going to be people and things and activities you're going to have to learn to say no to. Okay? Number 4, have a record or a journal of all your activities. I guarantee you, if you look at all of the things that you do, just do this for 7 days. Take a list of all the things that you do throughout the day in your business, and then look at how many of those activities. It's just like, like money. When you remember, we're talking about fragments. We're talking about time being a commodity here. So you want to look at all of the things that you are doing throughout your day that have anything to do with your business. I guarantee you, if you do a list, do that for 7 days, you'll have a better idea of where those fragments are. Okay? All right, last one, remember to put things on your calendar. If it's not scheduled, it's not important. You want to focus on things that's really important in your business. Now, these are just a few.
Hi, this is Aldreama Harper, and thank you for listening to the podcast. I hope you got value for where you are in your entrepreneurial endeavor. And if you'd like to know more about how I can further serve you, simply go to CoachDreama.com. Again, that's CoachDreama.com. I look forward to hearing from you. Have an amazing day.